think minimalism kills creativity. For me, the less I have, the more I seem to make. For me, cozy minimalism is the perfect blend of minimalist living, where you're living with less items that you have to take care of, but you're also blending in warmth and coziness so that your home doesn't feel stark or bare. For me, my home is what I would call cozy creative minimalism. Most of the things I have are thrifted, gifted, or DIY. I make decor out of repurposed items like paper bags all the time. And I find things on the side of the road that I'm able to repurpose and fit into our home. One of my favorite things is creating items that are multi-purpose and shopping my home to create spaces that work for whatever we need it to work for. There are times that we have a shelf that my son needs in his room, and then I have a project that I decide to do. Right now we're working on creating a walk-in pantry in our downstairs coat closet. And I'm able to shop the home and take shelves from my son's room or other areas in the home that can be repurposed for our pantry. So years ago, when I got on this path of minimalism, I realized that there were so many things in my life that I wanted to be doing, but I just didn't have the space mentally or physically to be able to do them. I wanted to create more. I wanted to become an artist. I wanted to read. I wanted to spend time with my son. But the tasks of my home and just taking care of everything was just overwhelming to me. So I knew that if I wanted to become a creative person and I wanted to fill my life with intentionality and creativity, then I needed to get rid of some things. In this video today, I wanted to share how cozy minimalism, or in my case, creative minimalism, really boosts my creativity. Number one, less visual noise equals more mental space. If you've ever walked into a home that was cluttered and had a lot of things, you would know that the clutter kind of makes things feel chaotic and you don't feel settled. But if you walk into a space that is calm and clutter-free, then you feel at peace. Cozy spaces calm your nervous system. When there's less things to look at, then your brain is not distracted by everything around you. As a creative and as a teacher, I am very overstimulated by clutter and chaotic spaces. Whenever I go into a home or a space that feels chaotic to me, I can't create. I can't sit down and relax. I need things to feel calm and peaceful to be able to let go and be creative. When you are decorating your home, I think it's really important to create spaces that encourage creativity. I notice that when my spaces are a little more neutral and they're infused with textures, soft lighting, clutter-free spaces, then I feel more inspired to create things. I've noticed that I am not the type of person that can live in a completely neutral environment. I like the background of my spaces to be neutral, but then I like to infuse color and pattern and texture and lighting into my space. As you can see beside me, I have this bug pillow and my fox pillow, and I'm sitting on a patterned cushion and my tablecloth is patterned. And it is definitely not a minimalist per se space, but it feels calm to me because there's not a lot of visual overstimulation in my space. Do you ever come home and you have the intention to create something or to sit down and read or watch a movie, but you don't feel like you can relax until your space is cleaned up? Well, in my house, I've noticed that I can't relax at all. My house has to be tidy and clean if I'm able to relax so that I can create things. So it's really important for me that my space feels like a calm oasis so that I have the mental capacity to be able to create things and to just settle down and be able to work on my business. Cozy minimalism also inspires you for creative problem solving. by limiting purchases. In my home, everything is thrifted, gifted, DIY. So I get to be really creative and just come up with different things to be able to decorate my space. So in some people's homes, they just go out to a store and they buy things. But when you really have to foster an environment that is created by leftover items, things that you find, things that you make, then you're kind of just infusing creativity into your daily life. And I've tried to always find spaces to be able to be creative in my daily life. I think it's really fun to have a vision for your home and try to come up with creative ways to decorate it according to your vision, but with things that you find or create yourself. There's so many times that I would prefer to go to Anthropologie and pick out my favorite items because I love it. Anthropologie is not always in the budget. So sometimes, say I need something in my home, something that I see at Anthropologie. Say I see a lampshade that's really cool there. Then I'll come up with creative ways to be able to DIY the same item and come up with an anthro hack for my stuff. Another way to be more creative in your daily life is to come up with rituals and routines so that you can automate the things that you need to do, such as cleaning, cooking, prepping for the week. And your brain doesn't have to spend as much time thinking about things because it's just automated. By having daily, weekly, and monthly rituals for cleaning, cooking, prepping, then you're more likely to be able to have the brain space to be able to create because you're not just thinking about everything that you need to do in your daily life. I've found that I do best when I infuse creative moments into my mom life and into my teaching life. So if I want more time for creativity, then I just infuse it into everything. I make teaching moments that are more creative for my students. I make sure to infuse my illustration into my YouTube channel. When I started this channel, I was super excited to use it as just a way to share my story, but also I didn't want it to limit my ability to create. So I found ways to use my illustrations, my hand lettering in my YouTube videos. I use them on my thumbnails. I actually want to start putting them in the videos too, but I just haven't learned editing that well, so I haven't started doing that yet. So I just think it's really important to just infuse creativity into every part of your life. Lastly, I found that minimalism makes room for inspiration. I used to be someone, when my son was little, we were on the go constantly. I had to be doing stuff with him every single day. We'd be with friends. I didn't have a lot of downtime. And as my son has gotten older and now he's in school, I found that he requires a lot more downtime, which kind of forces me to relax. So honestly, we have slowed our life down a lot. I have become a homebody. I really enjoy being in my home. I think from not having a comfortable home for a few years really caused me to really just embrace being in my home and enjoying it. As a minimalist, I've noticed that when I'm not spending all my time cleaning, cooking, shopping, I just have more time to create. I have these routines and these rituals that automate my life so that I don't have to think about things. And I think that's really important to creativity, is just to have that space to create. Back in 2018, when I was forced to relinquish all of our things and just let it go and trust that everything would work out, I became an artist again. That's when I started my redesign business and I started illustrating things and bullet journaling all the time. I feel like becoming a cozy minimalist was the ultimate catalyst to me becoming an artist. So frequently I hear moms say that they wish they had more time to create things. They wish they had more time to do things. Well, you do. We all have the same 24 hours, but we all have different priorities and different things that take up our time. It's going to be different for a working mom than it is for a homeschooling or a stay-at-home mom, but we all have priorities. And I think that just setting intentions on how you want your life to be lived and what you want to prioritize in your life is really important. Sometimes you don't have a lot of time, but you have enough time to be able to say, it's really important to me that I play with my kid every day. I read something, I create something. Well, you might not have 3 hours a day to do that, but you have 5 minutes. So draw one illustration a day. Play with your child for 5 minutes. Read 5 pages in a book. We all can set intentions and infuse creativity wherever we can find space. Simba wants to say hi. This is my kitty cat. So if you're a creative mom, teacher, or someone's trying to start a business, then I encourage you to look at your home this week and decide one space that you can have become more minimalist. Work on one space a week so that your brain can process less things and you have more space to create. So ultimately, your whole home would become more minimalist so you have more space to do things and you're not taking care of your things all the time. But just start with one space this week. If your house is super cluttered, maybe you can't do a whole room, but you could do one drawer or one closet. Come up with a list of all the rooms, all the spaces that you want to declutter, and then just check them off. Start with one. And I think you will find that you have more mental space to be able to create. I wish you well this week. I hope that you are able to find something that you can do to open up more space for creativity in your life. And I encourage you to subscribe so you can get more tips on cozy creative living on a budget. See you soon. Bye.